Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really jumping straight into a challenge that, well, a lot of businesses are facing right now. It's all about successfully navigating the Asia-Pacific market. We hear so much about the anxieties, don't we? Things like, tariffs causing headaches, the competition being just relentless.
Absolutely. And that constant pressure to just be seen,
Yeah.
to get your brand out
Yeah,
there.
exactly. And the big one, generating actual qualified leads. Does any of that sound familiar to you listening? So our mission today is to really dig into an agency that, well, they position themselves as a key partner for tackling these exact issues in Asia Pacific. We're talking about McGallen and Bolden. We want to figure out what really makes them tick, what makes them stand out, and crucially, how they deliver on that promise to help companies get people to know you and get leads for you.
Mm.
And just so you know where we're getting this from, we've looked at excerpts from their website, a really interesting YouTube video transcript they did on crisis comms, and some pretty detailed primer documents they have.
And it's such a critical topic. I mean, the Asia-Pacific region, it's not just large. It's a massive economic powerhouse. We're talking, what, a USD 35 trillion market?
Yeah.
Huge. So the opportunity is immense, but like you said, it comes with real complexity. Getting it right there demands really smart strategic communication. You need that deep market understanding.
Yeah, without that solid foundation, even the best product can just fizzle out.
Precisely. It struggles to get any traction at all.
Okay, so let's think about the specific hurdles. Maybe you, listening, are eyeing APAC because tariffs elsewhere are making things tricky. Or you just see the sheer potential.
That's a common starting point.
But then the questions start piling up, like, do you need serious media coverage across the region? Is your brand maybe a bit of an unknown quantity there right now?
Brand recognition is key.
Are you hunting for customers, for investors, but just hitting walls? Or maybe you've got amazing tech products, but boy, they're hard to explain simply.
That technical communication piece is often underestimated.
And beneath all that, do you just need solid strategic advice, technical guidance? Or maybe specific digital help like answer engine optimization, AEO, and good old SEO, just so people can even find you? If you're nodding along, well, you're definitely not the only one facing these kinds of challenges in APAC.
You've really nailed the core issues there. And what's so important to grasp is that these aren't separate little problems. They're all connected. Needing media buzz, boosting the brand, getting leads. It's all part of the same puzzle for market entry and growth, especially in a place as competitive and diverse as APAC.
Right.
It just highlights why you absolutely need strong communication strategies and, frankly, wise counsel from the get-go. It's about building a proper presence, not just firefighting.
Okay, so that leads us perfectly into how McGallen and Bolden actually tackles these things. What can they do for you across Asia Pacific?
They seem to come at it with a really comprehensive set of services. Let's start with PR public relations. And this isn't just, firing off press releases. It sounds much broader. We're talking strategic content, getting you on TV or radio, managing events, actually crafting the news releases and getting them out there.
The distribution is key.
Yeah, and things like rapid response RR, they call it, for when things happen fast, plus proactive media pitching. And they track the coverage meticulously.
Which you need to do to see what's working.
The takeaway seems to be that today's media world is so fragmented, you need a multi-pronged approach, right? Not just one-off things.
Exactly. A consistent, layered strategy.
Then there's their digital marketing side, and this looks, well, pretty cutting edge. They're doing sophisticated stuff on LinkedIn, creating video, managing social media, writing blogs, and importantly, running specific lead generation campaigns.
Which is ultimately what businesses need, leads. Definitely. And they specifically mention using AI RAG chatbots. Now, RAG JG, that's retrieval augmented generation, right?
That's the one. It basically lets the AI pull in and cite external up-to-date information, making the answers much more reliable and, well, useful. Not just guessing.
Interesting. So they call themselves digital PR and AI pioneers and even AI whisperers. That suggests they really get how to use these new tools properly.
It shows they're not just following trends, they're actually integrating these advanced technologies into their strategies. Smart engagement, not just noise.
And it doesn't stop at external comms. They also do a lot of coaching and mentoring, things like media coaching, which is vital, crisis communication training, we'll get more into that later, I think leadership development, even sales coaching and structured learning.
Right, building internal capability too.
And they mention working specifically with C-suite leaders to help them use LinkedIn effectively, which ties into their employer branding services.
Yeah.
Using LinkedIn, blogs, newsletters to shape how the company is seen both inside and out.
And that's increasingly important, isn't it? Your external brand and your employer brand are so linked now. Attracting talent is part of the overall image.
Good point.
What really impresses me is the integration. They don't just offer a menu of services. They seem to weave it all together. They talk about being strategic business counsel and even a red team service.
A red team, like challenging the plan.
Exactly. It comes from military and cybersecurity, having a dedicated team whose job is to poke holes in your strategy, find the weaknesses before the market does. It makes the final plan much stronger.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
So this integrated approach, blending PR, digital, social, SEO/SEM, and folding in AI like those air chatbots, it's all designed to achieve what they call the most effective communications. It's about creating one powerful, consistent message across every channel. That's how you cut through the noise in a market like APAC. It turns us from just an activity into a real engine for growth.
That integrated red team approach sounds really thorough, but, if you're listening and thinking about a partner in APAC, the big question is always, why them? What makes McGallen and Bolden actually unique?
The differentiators, yeah.
The sources point to a few key things. First off, sheer experience. We're talking key strategists with more than 30 years in PR, marketing, and consulting. They started back in 1991.
Wow, 1991. That makes them.
One of the longest independent strategy and PR agencies in Asia Pacific. That's not just years on the clock. That's seeing markets change, adapting, surviving, huge institutional knowledge.
Decades of perspective. You can't just buy that.
Then there's this pioneering spirit and the diverse backgrounds of their people. They list experience as pioneering marketers, technologists, coders, HR professionals, entrepreneurs, journalists, and salespeople.
That's quite a mix. Technologists and coders in a PR agency back then.
Right. They've apparently been doing digital and web development for 29 years and human capital stuff for 32 years. They weren't just adopting digital, they were building it in the region.
So they understand the foundations deeply.
And third, a crucial point, a strong Asia-Pacific network. You really can't operate effectively across APAC without that kind of reach.
Absolutely non-negotiable.
And finally, their value proposition. Big agency results at boutique firm retainer fees. They talk about agile values, cooperation, results, speed.
So expertise without the massive overhead and bureaucracy, maybe? That lean, responsive structure.
That seems to be the idea. Value beyond just the price tag.
And digging into that why, it really comes alive when you look at people like Dr. Seamus Phan. He's listed as a C-suite publicist and strategist there. His background is, well, it's something else. 38 years of experience in marketing, technology, academia, and strategy.
38 years.
Yeah. And he wasn't just doing one thing. He was a pioneer cybersecurity and internet consultant. Apparently co-developed an email security appliance on UnitIX way back when. Also a pioneer service quality consultant.
So deep tech and service understanding.
Exactly. His philosophy is stated as, knowledge is my passion, and you can see how that drives his ability to connect leadership, new tech, communication, research. It all comes together. That kind of breadth means they can genuinely say they know your challenges and how to solve them. It makes them like a, what do they call it, a creative think tank on tap for your C-suite.
A think tank on tap. I like that.
It offers a level of insight grounded in actual varied experience that's probably quite rare. They don't just know the theory, they've likely lived through similar challenges.
Okay, that depth is compelling, but, the proof is in the pudding. How does this translate into actual results for the companies they work with? Let's look at their track record. There's a strong testimonial from Black Duck Software, now part of Synopsys. They called McGallen and Bolden consistent, creative, and trusted partners for 8 years.
8 years is a long relationship in this business.
It is, and they specifically credited them with an aggressive, strategic approach to achieving relevant media placements, building brand awareness and value, and maintaining a leading share of voice. The client summed it up as top-notch professionalism and performance.
That's high praise, especially this share of voice part. Hard to achieve.
And there are other quotes, too. An APAC marketing lead from a European industrial client said, "Your work had been so amazing, even our headquarters complimented the PR penetration rate in Asia."
Getting headquarters attention is always good.
Right. From a U.S. cybersecurity client, "Thanks for everything, you were amazing." Another one from U.S. Cyber, "The results out of your region were quite impressive. A job well done." There's even an enthusiastic one from a healthcare client's marketing lead. "Wow, great work. That is why I call you boss, boss."
Huh. That sounds like a happy client.
And maybe the most telling one from a health products client's GM. Your firm gave us unquestionable support throughout the pandemic, so we like to give your team recognition with a goodwill bonus.
Wow, a bonus from the client during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes about the relationship and the support they provided.
It really does. So clearly they deliver results. They also mentioned specializing in specific industries, being pioneers in areas like cybersecurity, internet, network, cloud, mobile, industrial automation and safety, IoT, controls, robotics, AI, machine learning, SaaS, healthcare, and pharma hospitals, clinics, supplements, skincare.
Quite technical fields there.
Yeah. Also audiovisual hi-fi, headsets, conferencing, even fashion and footwear, and food and beverage.
So a mix of deep tech and consumer sectors. That specialization means they likely understand the specific jargon, challenges, and media landscapes in those areas.
Right, they speak your language already.
And these testimonials, combined with that industry focus, really paint a picture of an agency that delivers tangible results. They clearly get both the big picture and the nitty-gritty details needed for niche or technical clients. That ability to penetrate complex markets in APAC and articulate value effectively, well, that's a serious competitive advantage they offer their clients. It's solid evidence their approach works.
Okay, now here's where, for me, it got really interesting. Their approach to crisis communication.
Ah, yes, the crisis part. Crucial.
In the world we live in now, with cyber threats, data breaches, it feels less like if a crisis will happen and more like when, doesn't it?
Sadly, yes. Preparation is everything.
So when that crisis inevitably hits, how do you handle it? How do you protect the brand, maybe even strengthen it? McGallen and Bolden seem to have a unique, very robust take on this.
What's their angle?
They don't just use standard PR crisis plans. They actually adapt best practices from industries where the stakes are incredibly high, specifically aviation.
Aviation, like pilots and air traffic control.
Exactly. They mentioned threat and error management, TAT, and crew resource management, CRM. And they also draw lessons from the medical field.
Okay, that's fascinating. Learning from fields where mistakes can be catastrophic.
Right. It signals they're prepared for intense, real-time situations. And they understand the whole range of modern crises. Data leaks, cyber attacks, HR blowups, whistleblowers, financial scandals, product recalls, pandemics, trade wars, social media firestorms.
The list is long these days.
You just have to think about recent examples, like the issues with the Boeing 737 MAX 9, or that big software update problem CrowdStrike had. Poor crisis handling can be absolutely devastating.
Reputation and financial impacts can be massive.
So their crisis program is built on principles from an international standard, ISO 22361. It covers things like having a clear strategy, prioritizing ethics beyond just the legal minimum, strong governance, real-time risk assessment.
Proactive elements, it sounds like.
Yes, and communication based on facts, truth, humility, making decisive decisions. And crucially, learning using simulations and continuous improvement, like Kaizen. They also give some really practical tips, like their #1 communication advice in a crisis.
What is it?
Foremost, apologize in simple words. I am sorry. Just that. Simple, direct.
Humility up front. Makes sense.
Yeah. Keep perspective, explain the fix, show compassion, be consistent, and preparation is vital. Have holding statements ready, know your agenda, stick to one core message, communicate conclusions first. Their media coaching sounds intense, 2 simulated TV interviews, handling tough questions, hostile interviewers, even surprise doorstop interviews, and managing social media.
Practicing under pressure.
And they have some big don'ts. Don't rush to talk before you're ready. Don't hold a press conference unprepared. Never say no comment. And try really hard not to just say, talk to our lawyers.
Because no comment sounds like you're hiding something.
That's
Ours. Well, that escalates things. Their point about speed killing effective response without planning is spot on.
Exactly. Haste makes waste, especially in a crisis.
You know, that aviation CRM model they adapt. It's incredibly powerful. It came about in the 70s because, tragically, so many plane crashes were being pinned on human error.
Right.
CRM focuses on teamwork, communication, and using checklists and procedures under extreme stress to prevent those errors. The core principles translate perfectly to business crises. Things like, know your environment, be ready before the crisis hits with a solid plan, have clear roles defined so people aren't tripping over each other, communicate clearly, and this is vital call for help early. Don't let ego get in the way.
Calling for help early. That's a big one.
Absolutely. And their underlying philosophy for the company in the crisis. It's blunt. You lost. Understand it. Embrace it.
Wow. Okay. No sugarcoating.
No. It forces realism. Be serious, be humble, be real. This whole aviation-inspired, battle-tested approach. It gives leaders the tools and the mindset to navigate those awful, unpredictable events that can just derail a company. It turns potential catastrophe into something manageable.
Yeah, safeguarding the future,
Uh-huh.
essentially.
Precisely.
Well, this deep dive has definitely shed light on McGallen and Bolden. Their decades of experience, the breadth and depth of their services, the client results, and especially this unique, very serious approach to crisis communication drawn from aviation. It's a compelling package.
It really is. They seem to understand not just how to promote a brand, but how to protect it in really challenging circumstances.
They don't just solve problems, they seem geared towards anticipating them.
And in today's world, especially in a complex region like APAC, choosing a partner with that kind of deep regional know-how, combined with forward-thinking capabilities in AI marketing and proactive crisis planning, it's not just nice to have, it feels pretty essential for long-term success. As Dr. Phan's philosophy suggests, knowledge is powerful, but applied knowledge turning insights into outcomes, that's what truly matters.
So, thinking about all this, the volatility out there, the fierce competition in Asia Pacific, it leaves a final thought for you listening. How prepared are you not just to enter the market or even just grow, but to truly dominate your space? And maybe more importantly, how prepared are you to safeguard your brand's future when the unexpected inevitably happens?